Welcome to Working Lunch, on hand with the right figures for your cash. And our guest of the day likes to get people together. Brad Burton runs a networking company for businesses. We'll find out what it does later in the programme. Time for an official introduction to our guest of the day. Brad Burton runs 4Networking. Well, as the name suggests, the business helps people build up their business networks. Well, he started the business 4 years ago. Since then, he's signed up around 25,000 members. They pay a fee every year to have breakfast meetings with other entrepreneurs. It allows them to make contacts, find customers and swap ideas.
Well, if they can't turn up for their bacon and egg, they can keep in touch with an online network. And when Brad's not playing matchmaker, he can be found on his own computer where he plays shoot-'em-up war games for at least an hour a day.
Brad, do join
us.
Good to have you with us.
How you doing? You revealed my secret about the games.
Yeah, it's an odd hobby.
There's nothing you can tell us that doesn't get revealed.
What prompted you to set up this business?
About 5 years ago, I told my employer basically to shove the job. I thought, I'll start my own business off. How difficult can it be? You know, my understanding of running your business was all sort of private number plates, fish tanks and spinny chairs. The reality of small business or startup business is slightly more hardcore, which was, in my case, low sales, no sales, even a depression. And it was really quite tough. And I thought, this is just nuts. And it culminated in me delivering pizzas 4 years ago to keep my business afloat. And I thought, this is crazy. I've got a brain, I've got drive, and yet for some bizarre reason, it's just not working. I think when you work in isolation, sort of box room isolation, it's quite a lonely place. And I sort of asked the question to other people who was working in box room isolation, do you need other people? And that was it. So I started 4Networking 4 years ago. And, you know, it was basically, I recognised that I needed two things. I needed people and I needed appointments. And in fact, every business out there needs appointments, and that's what it's about.
So there's sort of two things that happen then. You realise that you don't have to do business on your own.
Absolutely.
And then you realise that you could actually make money by bringing business people together. How do these clubs work?
What we've got is 211, as of today, 211 groups across the UK. And what happens with 4Networking is you don't join one group. Like archetypal networking is, you know, you join one group at Finsbury Park and meet there every Friday, the same set of people. Well, with 4Networking, you've got access to the entire network.
And is this across the UK?
Yeah, as far as Inverness, which is just nuts. Yeah, 211 groups, and what happens is between 8 and 10 in the morning, you don't have to attend, so you can attend, so it's like a place of work almost, between 8 and 10, and basically everyone stands up for 40 seconds, hi, I'm Brad, I'm a marketing genius, you go around the table, and you think, oh, wouldn't mind speaking to Brad, because I'm in the market for a marketing genius. You write down my name, you then break for 5 minutes at a predetermined time to go and grab a cup of coffee, and you swap 3 business cards with the people that you want to have a 10-minute appointment with. And 10 minutes is long enough, first and foremost, to establish whether you like somebody, because if you don't like somebody in business, if the buyer doesn't like the seller, it's going nowhere.
Just sounds like sort of a breakfast meeting meets blind date.
Kind of. No, effectively, yes, that principle. You know, 10 minutes, if you think about the approach, conventional business, for any business to get in front of people, they need to do direct mail, they need to do telemarketing and so forth, and that stuff's great, as long as you can afford for it not to work. But ultimately, what the whole purpose of any activity that you do is to get in front of people, appointments, and that's what we've done. We've circumvented the 6-week lead time.
So who comes to these meetings? Are they small businesses, entrepreneurs? What kind of people are coming?
Businesses of all levels, and even bigger businesses are getting involved. It's absolutely bizarre because of the nature of this SME landscape now, which is changing. I think the confidence in bigger businesses, certainly from my perspective, has dropped out over the last year or so. And businesses of all sizes, you've got Colin the carpet cleaner, all the way through to last week was a £12 million computer games company joined. So businesses of all sizes, because what we recognise is that everyone has value. And at 4Networking, we put people before business. You get the people bit right, the business follows. And sorry.
I just want to get one bit of advice from you to anyone out there who's thinking about setting up in business. What's the big lesson you've learned doing this?
That it's not easy. And if you accept, it's interesting, in the last 5 years, as recent as 18 months ago, I tried to put some fuel in. from the company card, and I got insufficient funds. There's a fine line between success and failure, and people will think you're mad when you start a business off, and it'll be really, really tough, but you've got to do it.
Brad, great to talk to you. Thanks so much for your
advice.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
So help with anything, Brad, here today, saying that, you know, people have got it in them and just have a little bit of faith.
Work hard, be determined.
It'll work for you as well.
Thank you to all our guests today. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.